Hello everyone, welcome to yet another day in this clown decade, the decade where things are only going to get worse before they get better. And today we are taking a peek across the pond, which is something that I have not done for quite some time because there are plenty of other people who actually live over there who do a much better job at commenting on things going on in America than I can. However, sometimes I just need to throw white pills out, and what I have seen over the weekend is just pure white pill galore. It's something that I feel like I want to share with everyone because of how endearing the whole thing is. So this all started when, and I had to actually look up if this was a real place name, and it is, Feasterville, Pennsylvania had this notice up on their local McDonald's. We plan to be closed on Sunday, October 20 until 4 PM to accommodate a visit at the request of former President Trump and his campaign. While we are not a political organisation, we proudly open our doors to everyone, and as a locally owned and operated location, this visit provides a unique opportunity to shine a light on the positive impact of small businesses here in Feasterville. We're equally honoured to share the significance of what 1 in 8 Americans have experienced, that a job at McDonald's is more than just a job. It's a pathway to critical skills development and meaningful career opportunities. Having started my McDonald's journey as a crew member in New York nearly 30 years ago, this path to economic opportunity is especially meaningful to me. I apologise for the inconvenience of closing our restaurant and sincerely look forward to serving you very soon. Signed, Derek Giacomantonio and my team at Feastville McDonald's. So the Trump campaign was doing a shift at McDonald's, which I have to say, already I can see the potential for this being a great opportunity for the campaign. And so here's how it went.
I'm looking for a job, and I've always wanted to work at McDonald's. I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So,
yeah, Kamala Harris claimed that during her time at college in the 80s she worked at McDonald's. It's not outlandish a claim by any stretch of the imagination. There just doesn't seem to be any evidence for it, and Trump isn't the only one disputing it.
President Trump! Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. I'm having a lot of fun here, everybody. Look at all the fake news of it.
Yes, by the way, that was a TikTok put on the official Donald J. Trump TikTok account. And that is showing similarities between the Trump campaign and Nigel Farage's campaign over here in the UK in the recent general election. And it's no surprise particularly because the Reform campaign and the Trump campaign do seem to be in talks, or at the very least talks between Nigel Farage and Donald Trump do tend to happen. They do appear to be friends at the very least. And it's no surprise really because both of these men seem to have a very natural talent to be quite charming to the general public, especially the non-cosmopolitan general public, which is most of the people in both the countries. And obviously this wasn't a real shift at McDonald's, and nobody thinks that. This was a press conference, and there was plenty of times Donald Trump was taking the opportunity to actually answer questions and big up his campaign.
Kamala, she said it was so hot. It was so hot. It was such a tough job. But don't you have a man that's been doing it for many years at the French fries, right?
I want to learn everything.
I'm going to learn how to do it right now. Thank you.
As is natural with presidential campaigns, you have constant jabs at your opposition, and both calling Kamala Harris a liar and effectively taking, for lack of a better term, stolen valour from working class fry cooks, Donald Trump goes out of his way to actually try it, and looks unbelievably comfortable doing so. And it's moments like this that really do endear people to Trump. He does not look like he is trying to be above any of these McDonald's workers. He is happy listening to the person instructing him on what they do with the fries. And he's just following instructions. It's unbelievably endearing.
Do that one right there. So grab that.
Can we give him extra salt?
No. Yep. Oh, yep, good.
Okay.
Right there. And then we're going to grab the fry scoop right here.
Right.
Put it into there and just give him a twirl.
Even dropping in the jokes where he can. He's asking questions as well. Where's the thing? What do I do next? This is unbelievably good campaign work. This is so relatable it's hard to describe, and it's one of those things that really does help in a campaign. Farage has basically built up his entire online presence to be one of the most relatable people on the planet, and Donald Trump is doing the same thing here. You know, Farage isn't out for a walk with his dogs or going to the pub to have a fag. He's doing videos like this, where he basically just looks like one of your worldly uncles, teaching you about nature and how you can actually use mushrooms from nature as part of your fry-up. Now, I hate mushrooms, but that's not the point. The point is that these are very, very relatable campaigns. And both these men just expel, as the kids say, a very positive aura. Obviously, this isn't a real shift, but he just looks like he's working. And people around him are smiling. They look like they like him. It does wonders for your campaign. And then there's the part where he actually works the drive-through and starts chatting to obviously people who already support him, but just people that look like normal people.
Okay, let's say. You believe this? Look at this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
It's a massive positive for Trump that he does have years of experience of working in the media. He knows how to charm people on camera. He knows that charming these people face to face isn't the only thing he can do. He can charm them when they don't even see him. And when they see this later, they'll think, oh my god, he called me a true MAGA guy, he really likes me. And that's going to make other people appreciate that too. Trump can tell just from looking at me that I'm a good person that he would like. And that's just a vote winner. Like, this is why it's 50-50 constantly, despite the fact that they being the democratic and judicial machine in America, tried to take him out with all these felony charges, kept trying to implicate him for January 6th. It just doesn't work, because to a lot of normal people, the Democrats just seem like weirdos, and Trump seems like a normal guy. It really is that simple.
Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it, huh? How are you? What a good-looking family. How did you produce those good-looking kids? They look like the wife. They look like the wife. How are you? Nice to see you.
That's what I mean, just the ultimate charm offensive. I think I said it on Twitter. My dad would absolutely hate me saying this, but he is effectively just the very, very American version of my dad. This is the exact type of joke my dad would try and play if he's trying to charm someone. He'd make the same joke as, those kids look great, you know, you look ugly, oh, it's your wife that did it. It's such a multi-level compliment. Like, you look like a hard-working guy, it's taken a toll on your looks, but you can still get a beautiful wife and have a wonderful family. It's the ultimate compliment that you could possibly get. And I have high doubts that he needs any of this written down for him by his campaign team. And he's charming to the next guy as well.
Hello, how are you? You're a good-looking guy. 45, 47. We love you. Come here, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will. I promise. Thank you very much. That's on me. Okay? Have a good time. Thank you very much.
As I say, just a perfectly, honestly, normal guy getting as many normal people as he can through the drive-thru. And yes, he knows it's in the safety that these people are his supporters. It's not the point, though. It's very, very, very good for the camera. And it would be very difficult for Kamala Harris or Tim Walz to have a similar media campaign, because how many normal people like them? Hard to say, really, but that's not the only issue, though. There's probably normal people that do like them. The other issue they have is they just can't act as naturally charming as Trump can. Tim Walz, maybe. I don't know too much about him, to be fair. But at that point, if you're relying on your vice president to be the charming one, or your running partner, I should say, your campaign may as well be dead in the water. You're the one that needs to be like Trump here. And as I say, he's charming to everyone.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again. Thank you.
Just positive morale all around to these people who very much may well not actually like working at McDonald's, but he's cheering them up, saying, you know what, this job isn't too bad. I might actually come back and do it again. Whether he's paid for it or not doesn't really matter. Again, he's playing up to the camera to seem really nice, charming, and personable. And he's all three of these things with everyone. McDonald's workers, his own supporters, and in this next clip as well, whether they are born and bred red-blooded Americans or actual migrants to the country.
Look at that, look at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much
You
for
are not
everything you're
ordinary.
doing.
I can see.
Instant charm offensive as well. It's the other good thing about Donald Trump. He does listen to these people and react to what they're saying. Again, just making him seem like a person. I know I'm labouring the point, but I was astounded by how good this campaign photo shoot at McDonald's was. Whoever came up with this idea deserves a raise, because I'm going to go into why I know it's good, especially on the international stage, because I have noticed a bit of a change from his other campaign photo shoots and interviews, and this was an interview as well. Well, not quite an interview, but certainly a press coverage event. He took questions from the media.
Well, this is a great job to take at the beginning, and it requires expertise. I'm going through the French fry stuff. It's a whole big process, and it requires great expertise actually to do it right and to do it fast. Yeah.
Again, these are just questions I would not ever expect to hear answered from Kamala Harris, who apparently worked at this place. She apparently worked at McDonald's. Donald Trump, though, you literally just saw him go through the process of it. As much as people will try and want to deny it, he's done more to cook French fries at McDonald's than me. I've never worked at McDonald's. I have made French fries at home, deep frying it in oil. It's not that difficult. Like most recipes, you are just being told how long to hold something, either in an oven or, obviously in this case, in hot oil for how long. You know, it's not difficult to follow instructions, but Trump isn't downplaying it at all. He's just saying, oh, it's a great job to have at the start. He understands that this is a low-wage work for something that's unskilled labour, obviously, because all it took was, you know, an hour's training, if that, for Donald Trump for him to do it. But he understands that people have to come from somewhere, despite the fact that he got his small loan of $1 million from his father. But he appreciates that he's in a very lucky position. He appreciates that people start from different points in life, and he's not, you know, kicking these people while they're down at all. He's saying, look, I understand that you have to start somewhere, and this job isn't bad. It gives you basic skills of time management in high stress situations, how to work under pressure. It's good stuff. I still, in interviews to this day, talk about my time at a supermarket handling things under pressure, because it's a good skill to have. Oh, I had like 5 customers needing 5 different things, so I prioritised them. You know, whoever came first went to the top, dealt with them first, and then delegated where I could. And people are really impressed with that. And Trump understands that because he is a businessman, so understands his workers. Anyway, he's then asked if he appreciates fry cooks.
Well, I do appreciate maybe a little bit more. Yeah, you take it for granted. You say, give me French fries. I'll never forget this experience, okay? Now I know how to do it, and it's very good. But you know what? It's beautiful. It's clean. It's really nice. You never touch them. I always figured somebody stuffs them in with their hand, and I don't like that. And they don't do it that way. You never touch them. It's really great.
Again, it's nonsense, really, isn't it? He's basically saying it's very hygienic, but putting it in the way of it never touched a human hand, and you just have to find it endearing. It's just a much more interesting way to say it's hygienic, and I love it. I love it to bits.
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your
I
resume?
never worked here.
Why would she lie about something like that?
Kamala.
Will be put on your resume.
I worked at McDonald's.
Why would she lie about that?
Why? Because she's lying, Kamala. That's why.
It's just a great answer, isn't it? Are you going to put this on your CV? Yeah, I worked at McDonald's. Why not? He's a business owner. He doesn't have a CV these days. And then another journalist is asking a fairly fair question. Why would Kamala lie about it? And Donald Trump just says, basically, because it's in her nature to lie. What a great answer. And there's been plenty of evidence that she has lied over the campaign. You can't go into a campaign saying, I will fix the economy after you've been vice president for 4 years. Like, obviously you had 4 years to fix the economy. It's got worse, and now you have to lie about the situation you're in, while at the same time pretending you had nothing to do with it. So it doesn't really matter what she said at all. Donald Trump can just assume she's lying, and even if it turns out she's telling the truth, it doesn't matter. Donald Trump has hit it out of the park with this, simply because he just looks so, and is, very charming and relatable here. Anyway, naturally the news was out to try and undermine Trump where they could. When news came out that he was going to be visiting McDonald's as part of his campaign, the New York Post had this really weird article trying to claim that being a fry cook is one of the hardest jobs in McDonald's, claiming that I am an ex-McDonald's chef and Trump has no idea how difficult it is to be a French fry cook. Again, I've done this myself at home. It's not that difficult. Obviously, you can't just go in and have no training whatsoever. Nobody's saying that. But I didn't do that either. I needed Google to know how long I should put it in for, where I should put the oil to, how hot the oil should be, And McDonald's has this down to a T and tells people how to do it. But there's a reason it's a minimum wage job, and it's because, yeah, quite literally anyone can do it. So I don't know why they're trying to make it out like it's the most difficult thing in the world. Being a McDonald's employee is more difficult than a lot of people imagine. Mike Harax, an ex-executive chef from the restaurant chain, told the Post, casting doubts about white-collar Trump's upcoming blue-collar gig. Unless the scenario is fabricated in his favour, he will not do a good job. A former manager of culinary innovation for US Menu, Harax, 40, from Chicago, tells the Post it takes a certain je ne sais quoi to excel at the potato post. Well, I don't think he's trying to excel. I think he's just trying to put the fries in the bag, man. Maintaining a cool temperament is key, advised Harax to the oft-reactive former president. As a fry cook, anything could go wrong, which is tough because almost every McDonald's order includes fries. You have to be mindful of the oil and fry only a few batches at a time to ensure patrons are getting fresh cartons rather than runs being held under heat lamps, he continues. And make sure that each batch is seasoned with just the right amount of salt for consistency. Again, if I'm trying to big up how to work in a supermarket, I will say basic things like this, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, these are basic instructions. I'm a software developer now. It is so much harder to do that and understand the logic behind all the code that I write and have to read through, compared to this, where it's like, just put the fries in the bag. Like, there's a reason that people undermine it. It's because it is ultimately an easy job. You know, I've been to McDonald's so many times where the fries are cold. I kind of just expect it. The thing with McDonald's is that it is not Michelin star, service and food. You just know the minimum that you're going to get, and if it's better than that, then you're quite happy. And even if it is at the minimum, you're still quite happy. You know what you're getting. No one is expecting McDonald's fries to be something that you pay top dollar for, because you're not paying top dollar for it, are you? So trying to make it out like this is one of the hardest jobs in the world, it's just so funny to see. Like, I get it. You're an ex-executive chef. You're probably not a Republican. You don't need to sound stupid undermining Trump, though. Anyway, Tim Waltz had something to say as well. This guy spent decades stiffing workers' pay, cut overtime benefits for millions of people, and opposed any effort to raise the minimum wage. You know who has actually worked at McDonald's, joined workers on picket lines, and fights for working people? Kamala Harris. Now, I don't know what unions are like over in America, but if it's anything like over here in Britain, they're not seen with great favour, especially the public sector ones, because all they seem to do is try and create all these court cases and use lawfare to try and completely ruin companies they feel unfairly slighted by. And in America, I understand you don't have as many workers' rights as over here in Europe or Britain, but frankly, I've seen what it's like in your poorest state, and it's still better than here in the UK. So workers' rights aren't necessarily all they're cracked up to be. Workers' rights seems to be one of those things that students get obsessed about because they think it makes them the next communist or socialist leader. But typically it's pushed forward by people who basically have never worked a day in their life. At least that's from what I can tell over here in the UK. I don't know if it's the same over there in the US, but this is why I don't comment on the US much. Point being is that the claim that Kamala Harris worked at McDonald's is being claimed again. It's a complete distraction if you're trying to say Trump is a liar. It doesn't affect him. You know, you've reposted this over a post of Donald Trump being very charming and listening to instructions from blue-collar workers. That is ultimately endearing to absolutely anyone who is a blue-collar worker and could swing the working-class normie vote toward Trump. Nobody cares if Kamala did work at McDonald's or not. You're missing the point. And this, again, is why it's such a masterclass in political campaigning. Because, effectively, there is nothing bad you can say about this stunt. Nothing at all. There's loads of accounts saying, oh, he didn't really work a shift there. Nobody thinks he did. Oh, Kamala did actually work at McDonald's. Here's evidence. Nobody cares. You've completely missed the point, because the point that he is making is something that you just cannot undermine him for. All he did this for was to show that he is charming, can listen to other people when they are instructing him, even if, as harsh as it might sound, even when they are literally beneath him. Because he treats these people with respect, and that's all people really care about here. So if you go off on this rant of, Kamala Harris worked at McDonald's, though, nobody cares. She just doesn't seem like a normal person. She is not personable. She hasn't shown that she can follow instructions from people she sees as beneath her, which why ultimately it's just a win for Trump. A complete win for Trump. And I can tell this because the only thing I've seen from the British commentariat, the type of ex-politician, ex-mainstream media people who have just jumped ship into the kind of alternative mainstream media of podcasting, people like Rory Stewart, Emily Maitlis, John Sopel, and Alistair Campbell, they are not able to really say anything. The only thing I've seen from this stunt is Alistair Campbell retweeting this tweet saying the irony is that Trump's 34 felony convictions will prevent him from getting a job at McDonald's. That's all he can say. All he can retweet is a bit of a joke. Usually these accounts are jumping all over this sort of thing, like, oh, Kamala's great here, oh, Trump's had a little bit of a screw up here, that's not going to be good for his campaign. This they have been silent on. And they've been silent because there is absolutely no way they can criticise this. It is just too good. He gets a few more photo opportunities and press releases in a McDonald's or in a Wendy's or in a Target or Walmart, whatever. You're going to see him get more popular. Because as much as people cope about it, there is such thing as bad publicity. It entirely depends how you spin these things, and this is the problem. Alistair Campbell was Tony Blair's spin doctor. He would take any sort of news story and spin it in a positive light for Tony Blair and Labour. He can't spin this in a positive light for Kamala because it's just that ironclad, and you just can't help but respect that. And then, of course, there's the memes. Now, memes, I think, are quite a useful way to help with the kind of ground game of campaigns. We saw it generally with Brexit, with Trump in 2016. As much as people kind of hate to admit it, Biden had a pretty decent meme game. And the examples that I have up on screen are just amazing, because they're all telling the same story that I've been going through. Trump is just a normal guy and completely in favour of patriots. You know, you've got two guys ordering freedom fries, Mr. Trump, and he's happy to serve them, as he was happy to serve the people in real life. You know, art reflects life. Can go the other way, but this is definitely the art reflects life type of thing. You have the classic Pepe memes, once again. It's just the very simple, I am very happy that I interacted with Trump in such a normal circumstance. Like, obviously, barely anyone in America is going to actually experience this, but like with most TV, films, books, whatever, you can empathise with it. You can imagine yourself in the scenario, and it just brings on good vibes, which is unbelievably good in an election. You want to feel good about who you're voting for, because then if you don't, you end up with Labour in the UK, where they've been voted in effectively on a ticket of, I hate you all, but you seem like the least worst, and then effectively people have given you a chance, and so they are not going to be charitable with anything that you do. But if you're going in with a vibe like this, people are going to be more charitable, despite the fact that he's been president before. This is, again, just a really good campaign. And yes, I do feel like I'm being very pretentious at this point, kind of explaining basic art to you, but it's just how impressed I am with this particular media opportunity that Trump and his team have taken. I'm in awe at how clever this was, even though it was so simple. Of course, there were also the classic low effort, Kamala is a Karen type memes as well. Again, it helps paint the picture of Kamala is effectively just a useless middle manager who has, by the way, yes, been vice president for some time and ruined the economy. Which, my God, America, if you think your economy's ruined, please just look at the rest of Europe. While Trump's just the friendly manager guy. It's perfect optics. I've not seen anything convincing against this media opportunity at all. It's embarrassing, but I can't let you go without showing you my favourite meme that I saw from all this.
I like this show. I think I might come back and do it again. Thank you. Look at that.
Yes, the old classic 2016 no after it's announced Donald Trump is president. A throwback to simpler times, a throwback to better vibes. As I say, an absolute masterclass in political campaigning this McDonald's visit was. There's been plenty of examples of people and other politicians trying to be part of the working class vibe, their jobs and things like that, and it's quite amazing how the one person who actually manages to pull it off and seem very charming doing it is Donald Trump, a man who has never had a job like that in his life, never had a net worth of under $1 million, never at all felt like he needs to go there, and yet throughout this experience he looks like he's genuinely enjoyed it, he looks like he's genuinely enjoyed charming people. He's been Donald Trump. He's enjoyed bigging people up. He has enjoyed making some fries. He has enjoyed talking to the media about the experience as well. And even, obviously, he's never going to go back, but even said he'll go back for another shift. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. But it's going to make absolutely everyone involved feel good. And that, at the end of the day, is going to win votes. It's what Nigel Farage did here. Okay, didn't win him an election, but my God, for a first attempt at toppling the Tory party to effectively put them in a catastrophic failure where now they are trying to overcompensate by having the two most right-wing MPs that they have go head-to-head to become the leader, ultimately that's a complete win. The objectives are just so different between Trump and Farage that, of course, Farage isn't going to win the parliament at all. Like, that's not his objective yet. But my God, he is absolutely amazing at reaching his objectives. 5 MPs in an election, Trump here going on pretty much a similar campaign trail, trying to be a normal guy, still doing his rallies despite having 3 attempts in his life, one very direct, the other 2 managed to get caught before they even got anywhere. And he's still happy to be in this, frankly, nowhere town in Pennsylvania, seeming like a normal guy talking to other normal McDonald's workers. I've laboured the point to death here. I have nothing but respect for this move, and I hope you do too. Right, at that point it's shill time. Tonight at 9 PM, we will be over on the Worcester Club, again carrying on with the Peloponnesian Wars, covering the Athenian War, so please do come along and listen to that. Tomorrow it's Tosh Talks, and we will be covering some videos of people walking through destitute, poor areas throughout the UK, just to get a good understanding of what these places actually look like, because for an awful lot of us, we are quite sheltered from how bad things can actually be in the UK, so I think it would be good to come along to that as well. Wednesday I'm finishing Dustborn, that's all that needs to be said on that. And Saturday we are returning with Laughing at the Guardian. There has been some absolute bangers of terrible takes this week, so do come along to that on Saturday. Videos, as usual, will be out as and when I can make them. I'm still recovering from a cold, so if I've sounded a bit off, that is why. But hopefully it will be fully recovered by tomorrow. So anyway, with that, once again, thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, become a member, send super thanks and super chats in streams, all that good stuff. It keeps the channel running, keeps me in high spirits, and it ends up with more videos. As I said last time, I have 6 members now, 7 members even. I make something like a tenner a month from that alone, and even from that, it's making me want to make near daily videos. So if you want that guaranteed, do become a member. Honestly, it's good stuff. Anyway, with that, I want to thank you once again for watching, and as usual, until next time, goodbye.